You've unlocked a Roundtable.
Hello, and welcome to Lost Levels Roundtable discussion of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Is there anything after that? Is it
It's
just
like Out of the Shadows. I don't even think there's a 2 in there. It's just Out of the Shadows.
Oh, is it just Out of the Shadows? All right.
Probably.
Well, fair enough. My name's Chris Levon. With me, as always, is Alex.
Hi.
And so we watched TMNT 2. I'm just going to call it different names throughout
Okay.
this podcast and just roll with it because I should have looked up the name. But I didn't, so that's my fault. But as always with our roundtable discussions, we do a non-spoiler review at the beginning, go to our credits, and then after our credits is our spoiler section, where we get into the nitty-gritty of TMNT 2, Out of the Shadows.
Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the Ooze.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where we talk about Vanilla Ice's appearance in this movie and how odd it was.
Such a great, yeah.
So we'll talk about that in the spoiler section. So hang on if you want to hear about Vanilla Ice and his cameo, because we're not spoiling anything here.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Now, Alex, you have not watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first one, until recently.
I watched it the night before we saw this.
Because you wanted to get into the world. You wanted to do
I wanted to be all caught up on the lore, the deep, deep lore of the Turtles universe.
Yeah, and so I asked you what you thought of it.
And I hated everything about it. The way it was shot, the way the personality of the Turtles were, just the dialogue in it was bad, and just because it's so bad, no one could deliver those lines just because they were so awful, and it was just bad.
Yeah, like I was kind of surprised that you hated it as much as you did. I had it in my top 5 best movies of last year, or 2 years ago.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I didn't?
No, you didn't.
Oh.
You said you liked it enough.
Yeah, because I looked at it as a kid's movie, and I'm like, all right, this is enjoyable for the most part.
Can we call PG-13 movies kids movies, though?
Nowadays, yeah.
Okay, fine.
I mean, think about it. Like, how many kids do you see in the movie theaters nowadays for PG-13 movies? For our movies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these movies are definitely targeted towards kids, and definitely for the first one, the fanboys who grew up in that.
I feel like that's what this
era.
movie's targeted for. It's not for kids, it's for those people.
But then, if it's just for those people, which I qualify for because I grew up with the cartoon.
I qualify as well.
If it's just for people like us, then I would rate this differently. I would look at this franchise a little bit differently because I'm looking at it as an adult, and I'm not looking at it through like child eyes.
I guess, but I don't feel like I should. If I had a kid, I would make him watch better movies.
All right. Yeah, okay. So you hated the first one.
Yes.
So let's talk about the second one. Is a sequel. Now we've established the Turtles. They're still hiding in the shadows, obviously, and they're kind of just doing their turtle things.
Yeah, they're doing their turtle things, and they explore the concept of wanting to go out and be out of the shadows. Hence the name, where they want to be publicly known. They kind of explore that idea.
I don't think it's more about them being publicly known. They just don't want to be. They want to be able to do normal stuff.
Right.
They want to be able to walk the street like a normal person. They want
like a normal teenager.
Right.
They want to go to prom.
They want to pay for Knicks tickets.
And have their first kiss.
Right. And, yeah. So they want to do all this stuff, I guess.
And have bashes at their place when the parents are out of town.
I'm not sure all that was explored in this movie, so I think you're making...
Well, Michelangelo's a party dude, and I'm pretty sure that was his thing.
Damn it, you're right. He probably did want to do that. The song says it.
Yeah,
so
I know.
You're right.
All
right.
it's because of them mildly exploring that issue. I found this movie to be mildly better than the first one.
Oh, okay.
Still a lot of glaring flaws with this movie. Dialogue's a little better, but once again, not by much. The camera work isn't as annoying as it was in the first one, but still pretty annoying at times. It's constantly moving and like swirling and arcing around everything, and it's just it's all right to have a still camera every once in a while, guys. Like, it doesn't have to be in constant motion.
I think that's what they're trying to do with it. Like how Zack Snyder loves slow motion to make sure that everybody sees every single bit of his action. I think that these directors really want to show how nimble the turtles are when they're flying through the sewers or swimming through the sewers or doing whatever they're doing.
Or they're just standing there and talking.
Because they're trying to recreate that motion. They're like, look at the turtles. Look at here's the cameras all over the place, and it wants it to make it fun and exciting. Because you don't want to necessarily rely on the dialogue to hold that.
Right.
You don't want to put a still cam there, a two camera.
And you know, if we're looking at this in the idea of this is for kids, yes, kids are fucking ADHD these days, and their attention spans are short, so they need that constant movement to grab their attention. But for me, I just found it annoying.
We go to the movies on a weekly basis to do our reviews. And I think at this point, every single movie that we see, there is an annoying kid who is talking throughout most of the fucking movie.
And we're in the summer, so there's going to be a lot more.
And it's asinine, the fact that, you know, these people or parents aren't willing or give a shit enough about other people that they bring their kids knowing that the kid won't sit still for 2 hours or won't talk for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And just let them go at it. And it's like, movies are getting more and more expensive nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have some respect for our fellow members.
But we've discussed this topic to death many times before.
I know, but it's just annoying.
I know.
The last couple of movies we've been in, it's like, really?
Yeah, I know.
Like, come on. I mean, okay, granted, Turtles, I expected it. I honestly, I knew what I was getting myself into. I'm like, there's going to be so many kids in this audience. One of them is going to talk. Sure as shit, there was one of them that was talking the whole time.
Yeah, there are a few of them that are talking the whole time.
Yeah, it's just obnoxious. Anyways, back to the movie. What'd you think of Bebop and Rocksteady? Now, these were two people or two characters that we kind of expected from the first movie. They held off for the second movie, and they are very, I don't know, are they true to the...
I guess they're true to, from what I remember, they're pretty true to the original cartoon. If not, they're more rambunctious, I guess would be the word for it.
Yeah, they were just...
They were overkill. All their dialogue and everything was too much.
It was. Yeah, I agree with you in that regard. That was just... They didn't have much to say, and when they did, they just did the same things over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think that was the problem with their characters. Like, granted, I know they're you know, just sidekicks to Shredder or whatever, and you don't really expect much out of them, but just to have them saying pretty much the same things over and over again got kind of annoying.
It was lazy script writing.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what it boils down to. And once you saw them for 5 minutes, you got all of their character arc that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just
that's true.
That's all they did. They just the same thing. So that was annoying.
I feel like this movie just... no, this is probably more of a spoiler section, but just briefly, I feel like they just throw plot at you and expect you to understand what's going on a lot of the time.
Throw plot at you.
Just... Granted, I missed like the first minute or two,
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
Right.
They were just traveling to New York, the Knicks game,
Okay. But
which with a lot of that swooping camera
I
action.
could imagine.
So yeah,
But I just imagine that they throw these elements at you that we're just supposed to readily accept, and they don't really explain very much at all. I.e., the big bad.
yeah, it was definitely written for fan base that knew everything already.
Mm-hmm.
Like Secret of the Ooze fan base, or like any of the major characters that are in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon series. Like just knowing those people, like, oh, okay, well that's him, that's him, that's that. Let's move on. We have to hit for the sequel. We have to make sure that there's more villains in it. So let's add him, and him from the gallery.
Right.
And like, all right, let's go. Do we have the script now? We don't need it. But we'll figure it out as we go. So you have like Shredder returning, not doing much.
I feel like there was not a lot of conflict in this. Most of the conflict came from the infighting between the turtles. A good portion of it, I should
I don't
say.
even think there was that much infight. Now that there's more infighting in the first movie.
Yeah.
I felt like this one was trying to send the message of, Leonardo's fight for leadership and like having to understand everybody's different personalities in order to lead them.
It's about teamwork.
Right. And it's... I actually looked at the movie as a good moral message for kids.
Oh, totally. I think that's why I marginally found this one better, just because there's a message. There are a couple messages they're trying to portray.
Yeah, and I was actually really... I liked that message that they were trying to do. I didn't fault them for it. I thought, obviously the script was kind of simple-minded, and the characters were one-all-dimensional, and we knew what to expect as each person came on screen, and that's what I got. So there was nothing new or exciting to it,
right?
Aside from just like, teamwork message. All right, let's go. We got to see some famous people from the Rogues Gallery, as we kind of talked about, which we'll get into spoiler section.
Mm-hmm.
Which was on the trailer, so I think we can talk about the main bad.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Krang's in the movie.
Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, Krang. Because I just feel like they introduced Krang, they're like, oh, it's Krang, by the way. And you're like me knowing, the story, I was like, what the fuck's he doing here? Like, where did I miss something previously? That he just kind of shows up and Shredder's like, oh, okay, I accept this brain creature talking to me right now.
Yeah, he gets teleported to the brain creature, and the brain creature's like, oh, okay.
I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever you want, dude, let's do this. It's like, I seriously feel like I missed something.
It's just it's a children's movie plot.
Okay.
You don't need to explain any backstory. You don't need to have any, like, motives for your villains. They just need to be one-dimensional and get them on the screen. And that's what they did. What'd you think of Krang?
I liked his design. He had a good design.
I liked his design.
Yeah. And I think they did a good job with his robot carrier thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they did, like, the really fat human-looking thing, I think it would have looked silly. So I think they did it in a way that worked for this universe.
That was very 80s, like the cartoon. But yeah, no, totally. I actually liked the body. I liked Krang being able to come out, being attached like that. I thought that was actually pretty entertaining or interesting to look at visually.
Right.
So I didn't really have any problems with him. I do agree it's all cookie cutter, one dimensional, like, hey, these two villains are meeting up. They need to move the plot along. Okay, well, that makes sense. Let's do it. But they don't need to do all that stuff. This isn't an Oscar contender. They're not trying to be. They know their market. They know what they want to hit. They know that they want to put like little things in there so fans can be like, yeah, I get that. That's cool. But like the Turtle Van.
Yeah.
and Turtle Van shooting manhole covers out of the front of it,
Right,
like their toy from the
Yeah,
original one.
exactly.
You know, they're trying to bring all that nostalgia in, and
And they're trying to appeal to the older audience.
they're trying to rely on those nostalgia beats, much as we talked about in so many of our different conversations or different reviews for movies nowadays. It's heavily relying on your nostalgia as opposed to writing a good movie.
Yeah.
Visually, I thought it was alright.
Yeah,
I didn't really have any problems with it. I did like the fact that they kind of made the Turtles a little bit more unique. I think you were talking about that, weren't you?
I think another podcast.
Was it another
Yeah, I think
podcast?
it was like Giant Bob was talking about it. Rebel
Okay.
FM.
I can't remember. I heard it somewhere, but I did agree with the fact that, like Leonardo was more sleek.
Yeah.
And had
Raphael
more.
is more bulky and yeah.
I did like the fact that they tried to.
Michelangelo seemed shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely wanted to make them not all look the same. So I liked that aspect of it. And I'd like to look at the Turtles, this generation of Turtles.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. I take issue with all the gadgets Donatello has. Like, for a turtle in the sewer, his technology is way too advanced. Like, way too advanced.
Yeah, I don't take issue with it.
I take so much issue with it. Like, they're doing it just because they fucking want it to look cool. Like, it'd be cool if they had a thing that projected screens in front of his face, like Minority Report style. And it's like, dude, we don't have, like, nobody else in this universe has that.
Well, they're creating their own universe.
But no, my point is nobody else in this world, none of the bad guys or the police department or the army or whatever, has that. Why would a turtle know how to make that?
Because they're all geniuses.
Oh my god, no. It's stupid. It's stupid. Like, I'm fine if he has these kitschy gadgets, but make them at least fit with the rest of the world.
Okay, so you're looking for realism.
I'm not looking for realism.
In a Turtles movie.
Fine, if you want to put it that way. I don't think that's how I'm trying to put it. But
no, go ahead.
I want everything to feel uniform, and it doesn't.
Okay.
Donatello's stuff is way out of place.
Okay. I don't know. I'm okay with it. I don't really have an argument about it, or I don't have a good argument against what you're saying. Basically,
right?
I can see your point.
It could be just me being nitpicky, which I would fully accept.
Yeah, I can see your point, but like I don't have a good argument to say aside from the dumb argument, like it's a fucking kid's movie.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to look at the technology. It's fine to me. I know he's the technology guru. It's the same equivalent of seeing people hacking computers all over the place in movies where they're able to get into all this stuff by the stroke of a key. It's like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
Or just like shit like that.
I guess.
There has to be that suspension of disbelief a little bit. And I look at that and I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's fucking Donatello. He's the technology guy, and I'll allow it.
Okay, then can we at least talk about how fast their trip to and from Brazil seemed?
Okay.
Like,
and now we're going into Force Awakens territory. At the end of Force Awakens,
whatever. But like, it seemed like it only took them a few hours to do that, right?
Yeah, I don't want them to have a live action trip. Or like a minute to minute, like this is a episode of 24.
No, but my point being is, within that time of doing that, it was Megan Fox and Casey Jones, April O'Neil and Casey Jones were questioned in a police department for that whole time, which seems off.
They could hold them for 48 hours.
I guess. But in that same room for 48 hours?
I mean, technically they can. I wasn't. You're going like really into these weird.
It's these things I noticed. Like, it seemed like they weren't held that long for questioning, and within that short span, the Turtles were able to travel to and from Brazil. It just
Yeah.
it stood out to me. Once again, probably me being nitpicky.
Yeah, I'm not following you on that one either. Yeah,
God.
this is weird. Okay, speaking of Casey Jones, wasn't in the first movie, introduced in this movie. How'd you feel about him?
Eh,
Mm.
eh.
Now, he's played by Steven, who plays Arrow in
Okay.
CW. And
See, I don't watch Arrow, so I have no love for that actor or whatever.
he's the Arrow, and I do have love for that actor because I really think he does an amazing job as Arrow. And I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I thought that his character was very one-dimensional,
Well,
and I kept
yeah.
on comparing him to the original Casey Jones from the movies.
Oh man, that was a good Casey Jones.
I really enjoyed that Casey Jones, and I did not get that feel from.
No, yeah, because that Casey Jones was kind of brutish and thuggish and very vigilante. This one is, just a cop with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and it was just a different imagination. I don't know, impression of Casey Jones.
Different take.
Different take on it, and like I look at the original Casey Jones from the original movies. I even go back and source superhero beatdown.
Yeah.
Those YouTube videos where Casey Jones fights Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
I like that Casey Jones too.
Exactly.
That's the Casey Jones that I want. Like I've known now, and that's the one that I kind of want to see on the screen. So this Casey Jones is very opposite of that. He doesn't have that much of an attitude. He doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't have like that like bulky persona, like just being a badass that April could like. Oh man, this is a bad boy for me. I kind of like that.
Okay, yeah, but now let's go back to the argument for this being a kids movie for kids. If they introduce that character, I don't think they're going to want to present a vigilante, brutish type character to kids to look to and cling on to as a role model.
And that's we had that though. Like when I was growing up, that's the Casey Jones I had. So now you're saying that our society has changed.
No shit, society's changed
To the point that we need to.
We have to nerf Casey Jones.
We have to pussify Casey Jones.
Yes.
To make it PC enough for them to do it.
Exactly what I'm saying.
God, that's annoying.
Yeah.
And
so now you know where I'm coming from with a lot of this shit.
Well then, okay. Then why make this a PG-13 movie? If
Because now they can say shit a few times. Right?
I don't.
And really, that's... And they could sexify Megan Fox up for dubious reasons.
I mean, the opening scene with
that was
her in the schoolgirl outfit.
That was while Megan Fox is super attractive. Don't get me wrong, that was unnecessary.
No, that was very necessary for that movie. And she should have been in that outfit the entire movie.
Oh my god, that just made me think of why she was doing that. It made me think of Baxter Stockman,
because that needed to push young 10-year-olds into puberty, and that probably will.
I had such a huge crush on April O'Neil when I was a kid. Like cartoon version April O'Neil. I'm like, I like her.
There you go. So this is the next generation making young boys into puberty.
Yeah.
Or heading them into puberty by having her dress up in a schoolgirl outfit, bouncing around.
Yeah.
So at least they kept true to that character for you.
No.
Okay.
No, because April O'Neil never did that. She was a serious reporter.
All right, fair enough.
And she's always in that yellow jumpsuit.
Well, in the cartoon she was, but like in the movie she wasn't. She wore a short skirt in the original cartoon or in the original movie.
I don't remember. I had to watch because it's been so long.
All right, we're watching it this week.
Cool.
All right, so we've been talking about this for a little while now. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I just want to touch on Baxter Stockman really quickly.
Oh, you know what? Good point. We didn't even bring him up yet. What do you want to say about him?
And how they make this brilliant scientist just be a huge freaking lump of nerd.
Like a stereotypical nerd?
Yeah.
And then like...
once again made one-dimensional in just an insulting way.
It is very, it's very one-dimensional, very insulting. The attractive woman has to hit on him by using nerd language, and him like totally falling for it. Like, ooh, she is smart.
And just his laugh, like it was just a very like stereotypical like Steve Urkel grown up laugh, just a little deeper.
Yeah,
it was
primarily it was a bad character.
It was a super bad character.
Yeah, it was a bad character, and even like with him just already like or Sensei Shredder, and like just total allegiance to him. We don't know why.
Just no motivation given. Just like it's Baxter Stockman, and he's all on Shredder's side.
Yeah, Shredder, a known murderer who's in prison.
Yeah,
a genius would be like, yes, absolutely. This is my mentor. This is the man I want to follow. Fuck everything else that I'm doing for humanity and all this great stuff that I'm doing. I'm going to fucking follow this murderer.
Essentially, yeah.
It's like they had a Netflix show making a murderer on Master Shredder, and then he saw it, binge watched it, and was like, yes, this is the man I need to follow. I need to get him out of prison.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
I mean, that right there gives more backstory to Baxter Stockman than Baxter Stockman has in the entire movie. So we just created the backstory.
Aye, we did.
So I'm really happy that we did that.
It's canon now.
It's definitely canon. So if anybody ever asks you what was Baxter Stockman's backstory, you can cite it right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. All right. Final thoughts? Before we go into spoilers later?
Well, I'm trying to think. Like, the story's so thin. Are there spoilers we can really hit?
Not really. I mean, there's really not that much spoilers that we can get into because we've kind of covered everything.
Yeah.
That I want to talk about. I don't know.
Yeah, there's something like... Everything's so offensive about this. that going into the story details is not going to illuminate anymore why I dislike this movie.
It's not going to get more insight?
No.
Into
like I said, everything is just so thin in it. It's like... There's no twist. There's no big like reveal. It's just... Everything's one-dimensional and presented in front of you and very predictable.
Yeah, I love how quickly the cops turn. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. You guys are cool now.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, final thoughts. You don't have to see this movie. Like, I feel like I've made that clear. It's better than the first one, I think, but that's really not saying much.
Yeah, because you hated the first one.
I hated the first one.
I actually liked Will Arnett in the first one.
Oh, Will Arnett's the only saving grace about this. Let's be honest. Like, because he plays Will Arnett, the same characters that he always plays, and he does it well.
Yeah, I actually enjoy him in these movies.
Yeah.
I wish there was more Will Arnett. I would have been perfectly fine with them not using Casey Jones' character and then just putting Will Arnett back into it. And just having him running around with April again. I would have totally dug that, and just having him made. It would have been the same fucking thing because I'm fine with that. Just because I'm not looking forward to a lot of different things in these movies. I'm not like you need Casey Jones in this movie.
Right.
We don't need it. Like. All right. So my final thoughts. I enjoyed the first one more than you did. I looked at it through kid eyes and nostalgia eyes, and I was fine with it. I thought that it was a decent representation of the movies, and I was cool. Like, all right. Didn't hate it as much as I hated. What was the third movie? The Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't stand that movie. I did like the recent, it's not even recent anymore, but I liked that TMNT movie that came out, the animated one.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really great movie. I
thought that was better than these two movies.
I wanted to see more of that story. I would have loved to see a TMNT 2 from that. However, they went live action, and Will Arnett carried the first movie for me, and for this movie, I liked the message behind it. I liked the teamwork and Leo trying to understand how to lead people.
Yeah.
Because that's an important thing that we don't have in today's society. People are very vanilla and they don't understand the fact that everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than
And
rather than kind of like, understanding people's differences and working with their strengths because of their differences, people will just, act the same towards everybody and expect the same exact results. So I like the fact that this movie is telling kids, like, no, celebrate that person's difference.
right.
And help them achieve that greatness through those differences.
And that leads into the greater idea of them wanting to be accepted.
Right.
Which also something I could appreciate and accept. Which is, once again, why I said I like this marginally better than the first one.
Yeah, I mean, we watched so many kids movies, and we kind of talked about it before. Just offhandedly about some kids movies that I really, really dislike because of the over the top messages, political messages that they put in some of those movies. This movie has a different positive message for a kid that they can learn, and it's a good message, and I like that. It's something that we need more of, and it's something that we need to be more aware of. So
Just
for that
done
reason,
better.
for that reason, I enjoyed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows more than you did, and I did not hate it.
Okay.
So I would say check it out during a matinee.
Okay.
All right.
Enough.
So we're not doing spoilers.
No spoilers.
All right, screw it. We're not spoiling this. This is first time in a long time, but hey, sometimes you got to break the rules.
Yeah. I guess. These are set rules.
These are. I thought they were.
I don't know. I just thought they were kind of.
We have a format.
Okay,
And
that's
you're
fine.
breaking the format.
Okay.
I'm shell shocked.
Oh my god. Fuck you.
How can I reach you, Alex?
You can follow me on Twitter. My name there is Alex Sandberg. AlexSanberg. Or email me directly at the website, alex@lostlevel.com. Chris, what about you?
Twitter.com/calmintensity. I use Instagram a lot more. That is Chris's Calm, so follow me on there. And Lost Level has a YouTube page. We add all of these podcasts there, so if you're ever at work, you need something to listen to in the background, please listen to us and subscribe to us on there. The more subscriptions we get, the more recognized we get, the more sponsors we get, and we want to have sponsors because we like doing this, and sponsors help us do that. So in order for us to achieve those goals, and
We want to get paid.
yeah, it'd be nice. So like, a little help from you guys, spreading the word, giving us some likes, giving us wherever you can, some reviews, that helps us do stuff, and it really helps us just continue. I mean, we've been doing these for several years now, and we've kind of grown
5 years I've
as a
been on this.
podcast. Man, so yeah, it's been 5 years for us. That's a long time. So we are always evolving and trying to do things that are relevant. We've kind of shifted over to these roundtable discussions for a little bit, going back into some other different things. But there's just, we love doing these, and it really helps us when you give us some likes or any feedback or anything like that. So thanks again for listening. And lostlevel.com is the website. In the upper right-hand corner, you can get links to all of our social media. And thanks again. And we will be talking to you in the next roundtable discussion, which will be Warcraft.
World of
Warcraft. Based on real-life events, I believe.
I hate you.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye.